where we get messed up is when we're supposed to be working, we're thinking about our family. And when we're with our family, we're worried about the work we haven't finished. And so we're not good to our work and we're not good to our family.
This is Priscilla. She's a seasoned in-house designer looking to go out on her own. In this series, Christo coaches her on how to find clients, how to build her business, and how to compete in the marketplace. On the last episode, they talked about marketing yourself. And this week, they're going to talk about work-life balance. So for those of you who don't have the time to watch the whole video, here are a couple timestamps of this video. I also put them in the description below so you don't have to come back here and check.
So here's the thing that I always wrestle with, and one of the reasons why I like you so much for our call today is that you have a very strong point of view. And I have to kind of jog you a little bit to get you to break free of this, because I love everything about you except for this one belief. And your resistance to change. You were in our conversation early on, you told me the company has failed to adapt with the times.
I realize I'm at the point where I need to adapt, and I realize this whole social media, but it sounds so high maintenance.
No, it's not high maintenance. I mean, I'm a high maintenance guy, but I can do it. So I can help you. I'm here. I'm reaching my hand out to you. Like, I will help you. But you're like, get that hand away from me.
No, I'm taking it.
No, I mean, I can only hold my hand out for you for so long and say, look, come with me.
No, I hear you.
Do you?
I hear you. Another big hurdle, and I think a lot of people might, working moms. We don't have leisure of 10-hour days. And oh boy, having kids has been wonderful, but also I've learned what interruption is. I had no idea how interruptive a kid can be. And I actually you had mentioned one day, interruption is the enemy of productivity. And I'm like, oh my God, how do I do this? So granted, kids are getting older, so it's slowly better, but yes. I do feel for all of us working moms, because yes. Your day ends up being 4 to 6 hours. And for me, having gone to all seen a few of those pro members and all these women, and we complain about the same thing. And there is that struggle between yes. career and motherhood.
Right. So here's what I just heard. It sounds to me like all this stuff to do, given your need to balance work life, sounds like a lot of extra unnecessary stuff, and it's creating some anxiety in you.
Well, exactly. You're pointing the finger on it, because what it is about being efficient. I don't want to waste my time. I want to find the direct train. I don't want the train the express train. I don't want this train that's going to stop.
Right. So it also sounds like there are many trains at the train station and you want to get on the right one, the express train. But for fear of not knowing what train to get on, you've been at the train station for 17 years is the problem.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So we can sit here and wait for the right train for another 17 years if you'd like.
That's why I'm here.
I'll be a little older. I'll be a little wrinklier. You'll be a little grayer. And we'll have this conversation with dentures on. I was like, oh, Priscilla, and that's our conversation.
I'm ready to jump on the
Are you really ready? Because I'm ready to push you off the train station right now. You're going to get there one way or the other. So you have a wonderful, rich history. And I think you have something that's very unique. And I know that a lot of people like you cannot hear this from people like me. It's like, nah, he's just talking. He's blowing smoke up my butt. I'm nothing special. I don't want to talk about myself. I always want to be invisible, the work. But then we say 17 years of thinking like that has gotten us here, and we can be much further along. We really can. We also realize that you have this very complicated network of needs and people and hungry human beings and a home and a business and a job to take care of. And there's a lot of pressure on you to perform, and you don't need one other wasted thing to do with your life, because you'd rather spend it with your children probably, or your husband. Okay. But that fear has been so gripping in your inability to make a decision that you've been stuck at the train station of life. And we got to get off the station. We're going to get on a train and we're going to be like hobos. You know hobos?
You mean homeless?
They're kind of like homeless. They're called like hobos, and they would jump on trains and then switch trains and travel across the country for free. Essentially, it's not a legal thing to do, but that's what they would do. I'm suggesting you become a hobo. You get your belongings. We're going to get on a train together. And when I tell you to jump, we're going to get off this train and we're going to roll on the floor. We get another train. And before you know it, we're in the land of the promised land of milk and honey.
I'm on
All you have to do is accept and say, yes, I'm willing to do it. And so this is that Karate Kid moment for you right now. But the necessary part of this was submission. Submit that what got you here won't get you there. Like waiting 17 years at the train station for that spark of inspiration or that moment for you to wake up and say, I'm ready to move on with my life and take control of my career. You got to let those old ideas die. Until then, all of this will just be you and me fighting, fighting and resisting and not learning. Because I could do so much with you if you're willing to do what it is that I'm going to recommend.
Oh, I'm willing. I'm taking the ticket because I have applied, and I said, I have applied things. It's just happened organically as I needed, so I have the capabilities, brochure and things like that. But yes, the digital world is a mystery to me.
Okay. So Priscilla, you said, and very generously, you've been able to apply the things that you bought through our courses and things you've learned, and it's had a big impact on your business. So with that logic, I would say, go all in. Priscilla-san, are you ready to submit? Are you ready to learn the ways of the dragon?
Yes, I am.
And we are ready. We shall now commence with the training.
Well, I know when I have success, I feel better about myself. So
don't we all?
Yes.
Nothing makes us feel more confident than having more opportunities to work with more clients. Is that right? That's
exactly.
Validation. Things are working. So when you don't have a lot of opportunities, it can erode your self-confidence and your self-worth. I don't want that to happen to you. So let's get some opportunities in the door.
Yes.
Okay. Now you've seen me, and I've talked about it very transparently, how I've been able to grow my social following, what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working. It's time for you to try some version of that fits within your lifestyle. The cool part about this is, just out of respect for your family life, I mean, I have a family life too. So I dedicate full days, just family day. And these are work days. And when I'm working, I just want to work. I need to work because otherwise, when Saturday or Monday or when it's time for me to read or time for me to write, I can't do it.
Right.
Right? So I don't know what has to happen. I don't want to get too into your personal life, but you may have to have a meeting with your husband and say, look, hey, how's this going to work? Does it matter to you if I work and if I'm successful? What's important for us? What are we willing to compromise on? How can we do this together as a team? Because this is a team effort. If not, things aren't going to work for you in the long run. I don't want to see that happen to you.
I have a question is, okay, what I'm trying to build is a lifestyle business for the next 5 to 10 years while the kids are still at school, until they're a little more independent.
Yeah.
So it be able to have clients, but also have a family life. So I'm not looking, I know I don't want an agency. I don't want employees. But what's the difference between having a validating good lifestyle business and being a glorified freelancer?
There isn't much difference there.
Oh no, I'm really disappointed.
Well, those are parameters you've given yourself. To me, when people say lifestyle business, I think that's code word for I don't want to work that much. I don't need to make that much. Is that true?
Well, yes and no. I just know that once you have kids, they grow up fast, they get out of the house, I'm at the sweet spot age right now, where I can make an impact in their life. So if I'm not present enough and I went through a cycle of this a few years back, I realized I realized that I wasn't present enough, and it was a crazy situation. And so anyway, I've changed that. I've made some change. I'm much happier now, but I do want to make, I don't know, between 80 and one. I mean, I don't want a minimum of 80,000 a year, let's say, but I do also want to be able, and this summer was a test. I took a month off and it was wonderful. We've also had, and I told some clients, and I didn't on some others, and I was testing how it was to go work remotely in another time zone, and it worked great. And so I want to build that flexibility in my business.
No problem. Now, okay, go ahead.
Well, I just don't want it to be a negative impact, but sometimes I feel it's kind of not fair. Well, choose to be, a mom or choose to be a business owner, right?
Right. That's an unfair choice.
So I want to be able to have a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think you should be able to have a little bit of both. But I think where we get messed up is when we're supposed to be working, we're thinking about our family. And when we're with our family, we're worried about the work we haven't finished. And so we're not good to our work and we're not good to our family. This is why I say it's very important, at least for me, to have walled off sections to say it's mommy working time and dad, do your stuff. It's boys night out. I got to work. And then when it's mommy and me time, clients, I'm off the grid, man. You cannot pay me enough money to interrupt this right now. Now, I will share a couple of stories with you, and then I need to wrap up here, okay? The first story is this. I have many friends who have, for one reason or another, probably may have mismanaged their life, their career, their opportunities, and their money, thinking that the money was always going to come in. So now they're in this weird place in their career where they're midlife. They don't have a lot of money, and money becomes a source of a lot of conflict personally and professionally for them. And they don't have a lot of freedoms. If a family tragedy were to happen, they can't really help anybody out. And so this is where money buys you a lot of freedom. Okay, now some people would conversely look at somebody like myself and say, look, are you working all the time? Well, yes. And when are you on vacation? I guess all the time. So my life has been aligned to do what it is that I want, which is right now I'm talking to you from home. Go to work when I need to, which is whenever. And I'm making money, pretty good money, I think, doing what it is that I love. I have tremendous flexibility and freedom. And you know this, I'm traveling a lot. And how am I doing this while still having a business? Because I have set up the systems and protocols. I've made a lot of sacrifices. I've given up lots of things when I could. And so now I get to enjoy the reward of that. So the intensity and the focus and the amount of sacrifice was paid up front so that I now can coast into my golden years, if you will. So now I can travel with my boys. We can go camping. We can go fishing. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want. If I feel like watching a movie tomorrow, that's what I'm going to do. So that's the flip side, right? So we can take some of the sacrifice and spread it out throughout the rest of our life and really never feel that we have that much freedom. If you boil it down, the lifestyle business is a freedom business. You want to be in the, I want to do this, I get to do that, while not having to worry about money. The best way I know how to do that is to elevate your profile to create greater demand than the supply of your work and your talent, so that whenever you apply it, you're getting the maximum return on investment for your time. I mean, if you had to hire a nanny to watch over the kids, and it costs you more to hire the nanny than for you to do than what you get paid, it's better off that you just be the nanny to your own kids, right?
Well, that's what happened. For 4 years, I had au pairs from France. Yeah. And I was working like crazy, but I was missing out on a lot of family time. The kids were growing up, being educated by a third party. Yeah.
So we want to make sure that if we're going to miss our kids, be absent in their lives, that at least it's financially worth it.
Right.
Because the worst of all possible combinations is not worth it, and we're totally absent. They don't know who their mom is or their dad.
Right.
And that's a horrible outcome.
Right.
So that's why I say we need to increase the demand, decrease the supply of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that we do that is through getting the word out as to who you are and what you do, to make it seem special, that it's uniquely you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the work anymore, because at a certain level, the work is good enough. Beyond that, I think it's the law of diminishing return. Greater effort does not equal greater result.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite. Okay. Okay. So having said that, I believe this can be the beginning of a transformative process for you.
Yes.
I want to leave you with this last image for you and everybody else that's watching. Okay. I want you to imagine yourself at an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and you're on the one edge, and you're holding on to either the coping, or you're holding on to the aluminum bar for the ladder that gets you in and out of the pool. And I'm just on the other side of the pool, and I'm not on the long side. I'm on the short side, saying to you, Priscilla, I'm right here. Just swim to me. I have a towel for you. There's a hot meal here, and there's $20,000 right here. And you're like, I want that. I want the towel. I want the hot meal, and I want the $20,000. And I'm reaching out to you. I'm like, Priscilla, I can see you right there. And you're trying to reach out, but you won't let go of the coping. You won't let go of the handbar. And the reason that it's impossible for you to reach there is because you're not willing to let go of the past. You're so anchored into what has happened before. We fall in love with our history. We fall in love with the decisions we made in the past because they feel really safe. Those are the known knowns. And to let go and jump in the pool and swim across is the unknown. We start thinking about, will we drown? Do we have enough energy to make it? What if in the water, once you're in, I pick up all the food and leave? So these are all the worries, but I can just say, look, it's here. It's not a trick. It does take some work, but it's not out of your reach. But you have to let go. If you don't let go, the food will go cold, the towel will get wet, and the money will be gone. So the biggest thing that I can leave with you right now is great change can happen. It can happen in the blink of an eye in the period of 24 hours. But the speed in which you can change is entirely dependent on you. How long do you want to hold on to that bar? So I say to you, let go.
Okay.
Okay guys, now it's time for the recap of this video. As I'm sure many of you feel overwhelmed when there's so many choices of things that you could possibly do, things that are pulling you away, things that require your time. But time is your most valuable asset. That's something that's non-renewable and you'll never get back. So it becomes overwhelming when we think about all the things we can do with it. Sometimes that overwhelm prevents us from acting in the first place and taking action towards the things we need to do that's going to have an impact on our business. So I think the most important thing you can do in this instance is to prioritize the one thing that you think is going to have the most impact. Then go deep on that until you realize if it's working or not working. If it's not working, be willing to make a change, iterate, or move on to the next thing. I hope you liked this episode. As you know, Priscilla is a member of the Futur Pro group. It's a community of creative professionals that get together and talk about their business. This is led by Chris and the Futur team, where we host weekly calls about business, marketing, mindset, and about all the challenges you face as a creative entrepreneur. If you're interested in joining the pro group, we've left a link for you in the description below. If you're liking this series with Priscilla, let us know in the comments section below if you want to see more of this stuff. What questions do you have if you're making this transition, going from in-house and going out there on your own? And if you want to watch more videos, more deep dives with other pro members, you can check out the links that we've left here. We'll see you in the future.